All right, Mayor. I'm going to start with
Yeah.
Commissioner Robinson
Yeah.
and those remarks, because this is the main reason why we wanted to talk to you was not to get into verbal tennis or anything like that, but when he said that you should stay in your sandbox, making statements that parts of you cannot cash, you know, what...
I have no comment for that. He doesn't know the details. He doesn't know the conversations that took place. I don't even know who he is. No comment.
Do you have any, you know, some people would say, however, that you maybe got ahead of the game or
No, we didn't think we got ahead of the
was
game.
it?
What most people don't understand was the circumstance. And let me just tell you then what the circumstance was. I fully understood that, according to the charter, that the next person in line would be the deputy chief. There's two deputy chiefs. In that case, Keith Horikawa and Roddy Vanek. Keith Horikawa, I knew, had no interest, nor did he even apply to be the interim chief. So I was correcting that assumption, if you will. Chief Vanek had been out on sick leave for 6 months, not even scheduled to come back to July. I met with the police commissioner, Ken Silver, and I asked him if he thought there was anybody else, since the two men, according to the charter, would not be able to fulfill the position. He said he didn't believe there was going to be anybody. And I had conversations with, you know, Chief Moskowitz in the past about, you know, if in fact anything ever happened in Honolulu. I thought this was an opportunity in a situation where we didn't have anybody readily available to bring back a man who had a very distinguished career, not only in the 22 years at HPD, but the 2.5 years as chief on the Big Island, who was willing to come back to the department that he had served for so long and so well, understanding full well, and I can promise you this was witnessed, there were no guarantees about anything, just he would have to do what he did. So we didn't get ahead of ourselves. I was acting in the best interest of HPD in providing qualified leadership at that time, according to the charter and the circumstances I was dealt with.
I know that you had said and made it very clear that it was still the commission's job to pick.
Yeah, absolutely. I've said that all along. You know, it was the commission's job to pick, and I said it would be subject to that, but I was strongly recommending Ben. And I really felt that, given the circumstances, that we didn't have any move according to the charter, and there seemed to be nobody else heir apparent that could step up in the best interest of the department, I would have thought that the commission would have supported it. The surprise element was Chief Vanek came back a month ahead of schedule and applied for the position. I didn't see that coming. If I thought that was going to happen, I would not have encouraged Chief Moskowitz, okay? But we didn't see that happening. And now Roddy's in the job, and he's off to a good start.
And as for Chief Moskowitz now, I think there's, you know...
I spoke to Chief Moskowitz this afternoon. I am deeply saddened. I offered him my apology, if you will, for what's happened to him and his family. This man has had a distinguished career. He deserves better than he got. Okay, and I have the greatest respect and admiration for him, as do many of the people who know him. He's a qualified police officer who's given the last 25 years of his life to protect and serve. That should not be forgotten in this moment, and that's why I feel so bad for him.
My final question, the process of picking a police chief.
Yes.
So with the commission, are you still looking for, you know, a change in the charter, or changes that would give the mayor's office, no matter who the mayor is?
I'm going to push forth that charter. You know, we didn't ask for, you know, I think the misunderstanding here is that everybody thinks we wanted unilateral control of this. No, we looked at a number of models that would involve the city council and the commission, but I think the mayor needs to have a say and a voice in who gets selected. I can promise you, with all the things that have happened of late, where do you think those phone calls come? They come here. They come here first. They don't go to the police commission, okay? So under that, and according to the charter, just so you know operationally, the chief of police reports to the managing director, who reports to me operationally. A lot of people misunderstand that, and I think, quite honestly, you know, that's the crux of the problem. People don't understand that the chief doesn't report to the commission on that basis.
Do you still hope to get Chief Ben over here, or do you think that...
Well, I don't know what's going to happen. I think right now he's dealing with it. I'm really pleased that he's at least going to be allowed to stay until August 31st as chief on the Big Island, and then he'll be able to retire at the end of a 25-year career.
Do you think he's kind of gotten the raw deal because of all this, and now things have been...
I don't like what happened to Chief Moskowitz. I'll say it again. I had no control over that. I wish it hadn't happened. If I could prevent it, I would have. I couldn't. It's a sad set of affairs for a guy who was willing to step up at risk to himself, and, you know, to come over here and step in and help us at a time when it looked like we really needed the help, okay? I have nothing but respect for his decision-making, and it's just unfortunate that what's happened has happened. And as I said earlier, if we could go back and turn back the clock, probably would have done it differently that way, but that doesn't take away from my incredible admiration and respect for Chief Moskowitz.
Going forward, what will this office do?
Well,
in
going
selecting
forward,
the
Well,
next
going
chief?
forward, we're going to work with Chief Roddy Vanek, and he's off, as I just said a moment ago, he's off to a good start. The police commission, I believe, is already underway in the selection of a search firm to try to help them with the selection of the next chief. I've been told it will probably be a 6 to 7, maybe 8-month process, and we'll be supportive in any way we can, and that's just the way it goes. So right now, we're in good hands with Chief Vanek.